Good morning, everybody. How is it going? How are you doing? It is a fantastic Saturday morning. All right. I am excited. So, you can see behind me, I've got these awesome banners that I had printed this last week. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll see that I had these printed out for Lightbox Expo, getting ready for the convention that is now only about a month away, and I am elated. They turned out so stinking good. Um, so one of the things, that would have been a fun thing to have thought about. So these are supposed to be the faces of a cube. Um, Three of them. One of them's just kind of extra. It's kind of a background or a backup sort of image. But three of them will be going around three sides of a shelf. So that I can have a display and I can have a shelf that's functional to be able to store things to sell at Lightbox, which is super exciting. And the one of the things that I just thought about is like I've got this. You can see it really easily here on my Katrina character, where it's got like this purple line kind of coming down from behind my logo, and then I've got it right here on Storm too, where it's like that kind of swoosh right there. I was like, it could have been cool if I had thought about like having that swoosh be a continuation from side to side, so that it had a nice graphic flow around the whole thing. I didn't think about it though, so it's all right. But yeah, maybe next time. Today, what we're going to do, let's kind of jump right into it. I've been working on, and I don't know if you guys have been participating or not, but this is a fun opportunity. Every year, ArtStation has their challenge, and I really like participating in the ArtStation challenges. So this year, what we've got going on is right there. It's Age of the Dragon or something like that. I can't remember what the exact theme name is, but it's something to that effect where it's dragon. And so this is my dragon that I've gone through. I designed, sketched him out, and then I've got him blocked in. So today, what I'm thinking to do is to start my topology. Should be a really fun process. I've got to do a couple of things to get him ready to do that. Namely, I gotta gotta get his mouth open a little bit so that he's in the right position to be able to do the topology around his mouth, things like that. And so yeah, let's go ahead. Let's get started. I gotta get this tablet so it's connected. Let's see if it'll. There we go. Been having issues with my tablet lately. Oh, you know what? Let's do this. Now we can move it down. There we go. Look at that. So nice. He's a good boy. Hey, Leonard. You know what? Let's go ahead and kind of get that to go further down, I think. Let's put the pivot about where it was. Oh, we don't want that. And then it's kind of sculpted into position, because that's going to be probably more useful than trying to force it with the pivot with the move tool. Okay. How about everybody else? What's everybody else been up to? Do you have any cool personal projects that you're excited about? Let's use the knife curve. There we go. So now we've got that mouth open. That looks pretty good. I like that. I will accept that. There will be some things that maybe we'll clean it up a little bit more once we have topology on there. But just gonna make sure that it's giving me a good profile from down below. Oh, is everybody staying good in the heat? That's like, I don't know if everybody's got the same kind of heat that we've got here in LA right now, but I'm sure some places are hotter and some places are more humid, some places are whatever, but the heat here in LA, we're hitting really terrible temperatures, and we're getting all of our forest fire season kind of started up. Oh, cool. You're going to sculpt your nephew and niece wedding cake topper. That's pretty stinking cool. That is pretty stinking cool. Yeah, like different food safe finishes for things. That's something that I've never played with, though I keep thinking that I want to at some point. Because like, oh, I've got this this character that I'm almost done putting him all together. And let me switch back to the camera view here. Sweet. In fact, you can see the picture of him over here on the side. You know. All right, I'm almost done putting him all together. I've got all of his parts painted. I just need to fix the forward piece of his bow, and then if you guys remember, we sculpted him last year, the year before, something like that, on ZBrush Live. He was a lot of fun. He was a really, really fun project. And I am getting like way too much light from maybe I can give myself a little less light here. That's a little bit better. Yeah, it's quite a bit better. Still bright, but you know, we'll deal with what we've got. So yeah, lots and lots of fun. So he's just in a couple of different parts here. He's got his head and his body. And you know, he's got all of his little arrow pieces that I've got to be able to put into his, so that'll plug into his hand and things like that. Really fun. Really fun. I'll have him on my table at Lightbox if you guys are around and you come visit. You can come check him out in person. Yeah, it's just fun. And then the other thing that I've been doing is I've been learning about cold casting. This is like a bronze, or a test bronze anyway. Still need to go through and kind of buff him up a little bit so that he feels more metallic. But he's got a coating of bronze powder that makes him feel metallic. And you know, some of the places where it's easiest to be able to tell is like the high points where when I went over it with like some really small really fine grit sandpaper. Oh, that's not gonna cooperate, I don't think. I went over it with really light grit sandpaper, and it gave me a nice edge. I did do that myself, yeah. Sculpted in ZBrush, 3D printed, and then I think I got to make a new mold. I think my mold somehow got ruined, but yeah, we'll get there. We'll get it going. Figure it out. But yeah, I've been having so much fun. So the idea is to be able to have a couple different things like that. So there will be the fish bot. There will be shark. This guy. Sorry, I'm like jumping back and forth a lot between these different views. So I'll have some of these guys available. And I'm thinking about, with Lightbox, possibly making it just like bronze and iron. Bronze and iron cold casts. Since those castings seem to turn out the best out of what I've got. We'll have to see. We'll have to see what we get. Dragons. Let's kind of turn down our intensity here a little bit. This project has been a lot of fun so far. I don't know how much you guys follow along with the ArtStation challenges, but this is one that I feel like has brought out a lot of really cool creativity with a lot of different people. It's really neat to see an idea for a chandelier. Yeah, that's fun. Lots of cool creativity, lots of fun things that people have started coming up with, shapes, and it hasn't been all dragons. People have done, different dragon inspired characters. Lots and lots and lots of cool stuff. All right, what do you guys say? We go ahead and we start with topology. All right. So, a few things that I need out of this. Here, let me go ahead and I'll just so we can get a good draw over sort of stuff. So, so a few things that we need. Okay, I need to have some edge flow coming up, and that goes around the whole outside of the mouth, so that we get a nice clean open and close. But then otherwise, this is going to need to go that way. This is going to need to go up and over. We're going to have edge flow go out and over this way. And this will probably go out to the back of the head. We'll probably have an area over here where it goes and loops out and around, kind of like that. We'll probably have like an edge flow out of the eye and go down and around somehow. So yeah, just kind of ways that I'm going through and trying to think about the ways that topology is going to work for this guy. Oh, nerds. Same thing. This is going to go up and probably into the eye. This will come out of the eye. And maybe we'll have that come out. I don't know. We'll have to see kind of how this all works out. But these are kind of like general ideas of things that I need to have happen. Close that. Pardon me. So let's go ahead. Let's test this out. Let's come over here. We'll say brush topology. For the stroke, I want to turn on lazy mouse, and I want to turn this up quite a bit. Like 35, 40, somewhere around there, right? because that way it'll give me a little bit smoother of a stroke. A bit smoother of a line. Instead of getting like all the wobble from my hand, because my hand's not very good at drawing a straight line. So here's what we're going to do. We are going to... I'm trying to decide if I want to start with the eye or if I want to start with going around the mouth. Either way, let's go ahead and... I think I'm going to want to have... edge flow coming down around the snout and kind of going out that way. It's like one of the things I'm trying to decide though, because I've got this little ridge kind of built in here, like sculpted in here to the base. I think that's going to need to be rethunk. So what we're going to do is I'm going to draw that out, because I think that would be a good idea for the flow, is getting that to go down and down around the neck. So we'll leave that for now. And we'll see kind of what it is that we have. Let's do something kind of like... In fact, I might benefit from a smaller brush size. It's always kind of interesting going through. It'd be cool to make him a posable toy. I probably won't have... I don't know. Maybe I will figure out a way to be able to make him a posable toy, give him some articulation and things like that at some point. It'd be cool to figure out kind of like a ball chest joint so that he can pivot there. And then one down here for the hips, just so that he's got kind of like these three segments, and then like to have the head be kind of like, posable, that would definitely be a project for a different time though. Yeah, you know what, that's not gonna work too well for me. Let's do this. I'm going to commit this. We'll say split, unmasked. Okay, rename this. We're going to say Topology, just to, keep it clear. Let's go into our Z modeler brush and let's start kind of playing around with this. And let's actually, oh shoot, I forgot to turn on my snap to surface. Okay, with the edges, I want to have it be extrude. I want to turn on snap to surface for this as well. And then for faces, I'm just going to say do nothing for right now. Let's go ahead and bring this over here. Oops, I did not want that to, okay, there we go. Okay, let's start working on getting the area around the eye kind of worked in. Come on. There we go. Okay, I'm going to work this out really rough first and then try to refine it as we go along. Go ahead and turn on our topology view with the poly frame. Uncrease all. TPU filament. What is TPU? Interesting to print the skin and have a heart skeleton inside to pose it with. For sure. For sure. That'd be cool. Flexible, huh? Is it like a silicone based filament, or is it some other type of rubber or something? Or said it was TPA, right? TPU. Too much snap. Let me see if I can get geometries. Okay, it's already down as low as that'll go. Let me see. Let's take these and we'll move it clear out here. Oh, come on. I hate that it's trying to grab the edge. All I want to do is grab a vertex. Give me a vertex or give me death. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, so I want to try to get these, even though we're working really rough so far. I want to make it so that I have an edge loop to the top that matches the bottom placement wise, even if it's roughly so far. Let's go ahead and get that top edge. There we go. Something maybe about like that. It might be a little bit too far over. Let's bring it back a little bit. Thermoplastic polyurethane. The edge extrude snap. So with the edge function, so if you go in there, I've got it set to extrude. And then I have it set to snap to surface. It's this free move or snap to surface. It's really, really helpful. And then I just have it set to transparent. I had that with a keyboard shortcut, which is awesome. And then now it's just I'm just able to kind of move and extrude at my will, and that'll snap into place. It's really, really nice. I really love ZBrush's topology tools. It gives me Top Gun vibes a little bit. There are some similarities and there's some dissimilarities too, but really, really cool. It's super helpful. Let me see. I'm going to give it another loop going around the eye, because one of the things that I want to have is this this transition here where we get this 5-pointed star, but I don't want to have it right there in that crevice. I want to have it kind of offset some so that it's oh, come on, you. There we go. So that it gives me a better chance at not having an artifact in a high deformation spot. Let's go ahead and kind of bring that over here, bring that there, bring this here, something like that. That feels pretty good. Let's just make sure this is kind of centered along here, something like this. Yeah, lots to think about when you're creating topology for something that's really odd looking. Oh shoot, I don't want that. Bring that down, kind of bring that point up just a smidge. Something like that, something like that. Oh, make sure that that's connected, otherwise it's going to be a mess. Just check it just to make sure it's nice and smooth. It's looking good. It's looking so good. Thanks, Seba. Thank you so much. Yeah, I have so much fun with this stuff. Like, it's unreal. This is the kind of stuff that, this is like my cathartic. Uh-oh, I'm losing symmetry here. Oh, look at that. We had some really bad projection right there. Cool. Okay, so let me see. Yeah, we just got to make sure this is connected. There we go. And just for the sake of knowing which direction. Oh, shoot, I didn't want that. Let's go ahead and give it different colors. So that way we can see. I want to do mirror and weld. Yeah, so we're mirroring over from the other side. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to say mirror. Mirror. Geometry, mirror and weld. That way, I have the side that I was working on as the nice clean side on both, and we'll just go ahead and get going now. I'm going to start working on from this side though, since we know that this side is going to be the one that mirrors across. It's going to be helpful to have, you know, to have our work be easily, I'll say easily replicated. Let's see, let's put this more in the center between the two, between those 2 points. I really like working on this side. It just feels more natural to me. I don't know why. So, I mean, I do have that chance, like if I wanted to. Oh, I didn't even turn my symmetry back on. Let's turn symmetry back on. Mirror and weld. Yeah, it just feels more natural to me. So I mean, if I wanted to, I could just work on this side, but then I have 2 steps that I have to make to be able to. So let's hit deformation, open that up. I have to hit mirror and then mirror and weld to be able to get things the way that I want it. Which, you know, that might be all right. That might be all right. I definitely do that from time to time. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this out, pull it out to that crease right here, to that crevice. Try to find it, try to get it so that it feels about right. Bring this down, bring this over. So you can see kind of like what's happening with that right there. This area right here, we might take it and make it a, yeah, you know what, I think I might. Let's build this so that it goes up and around like this. And then we'll have it connect into this part right here. So it creates like this U shape going over the top of the eye. And that should hopefully work out pretty well. Let's pull this out. Again, trying to keep it so that it's really minimal for now, so that I can have, you see right here, we can see it, there's some asymmetry. So let's go ahead and say mirror, mirror and weld. Yeah, control and right mouse button. Yeah, to be able to zoom. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Yeah, the navigation inside of ZBrush is tricky, but once you get used to navigation, everything else kind of just falls into place. It's really quite nice. Not entirely sure where that ridge needs to go, but I'm going to try to put this along that apex, this highest point on that curve, so just so that I try to keep it clean. Okay, so we got that going on there. Okay, so one of the things that I can do, I'm going to, yeah, we'll just drag it out, that's fine. Kind of create this 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 middle section. Oh my goodness. Mirror and weld, so that we get that in there. Oh, mirror and weld. Okay, so far we're already making good progress. This is establishing a lot of different things for us. The loop that we were talking about before, when I was talking about wanting to have kind of like a loop going around the outside of the mouth, I'll have that, but then I'll also have like the grid kind of coming out the back of the head, coming out the back of the jaw, and that'll help to kind of establish a lot of different things for us. I do want to work on maybe establishing some of what's happening with this jaw, because there will be some flow things that I want to have happen with, like, having this come down and then having it wrap up. So let's get this started. I'm going to pull this out, and then we're going to change to delete a face, just so we have this free floating face here. Okay. I'm going to line this up right here with this guy, so that it kind of flows into that. And then the other thing I want to do is I'm going to pull this out. We can pull this down. And then something I'm trying to decide is whether to have an edge flow like this, so that this goes and starts to build around, and this goes up and around, which I think could work really, really nicely for me. Yeah, I think that's what we'll do. So that way we get that shape in there. That'll work. That'll work. That'll do, donkey. That'll do. Get my phone out of my pocket. I don't want it in my pocket. The pocket like it. Oh, something just as an announcement, I guess. You've probably received an email about it. If you have a ZBrush license, the ZBrush licenses have officially transferred over to the Maxon side, so you can access that through the Maxon license page. I was just seeing the email about that this morning. I'm getting all sorts of emails about different software packages of changes that are happening, like my Substance. My old Substance licenses are no longer effective as of the end of the month, and because I bought them underneath the old company, and yeah, the Maxon migration has been successfully migrated. Yeah. So if you don't already have a My Maxon account, it says to go ahead and build one and have it associated with your can't remember what the process was that I had to go through to be able to make it so that it had everything I needed, but it was really simple. It was really, really simple. So yeah, no stress. One of the things I'm thinking about building in is kind of like large lizards. Will have like monitor lizards. They have like a little kind of a cleft in their top lip. Snakes kind of have it too a little bit. Like snakes and like large lizards. They have that cleft in their upper lip, and that kind of makes it so that their tongue can kind of like go out. It's really cool. So for right now, we're going to have that there. Kind of bring it up. Oh, that didn't connect quite. So you can see it didn't connect in the center. Interesting. I thought that it had connected in the center. That's interesting. Okay. Mirror and weld. The thing that I need to make sure that I keep checking is that center line stays nice. Hey, Zach, how you doing? So that comes down. So we're going to have this come to, oh shoot. Bring this down. Bop. Okay, we're going to need another edge in here. So let's go ahead and say insert single edge loop. Okay, move point, and it'll snap to that surface, which is nice. So nice. It's so nice. I'm so excited about how this is turning out already. This nostril is going to need some fun caressing and love. And I'll probably build in some sort of like extra U shape coming in down here just so I can get the resolution that I want. Maybe. Nah, maybe not. Maybe not. Oops. Change back to extrude. And you know, let's say mirror and weld just to make sure that we have the the latest and greatest. Ah, shoot. Turn off that the delete, starting to do nothing. Having the delete on is really useful. B Chad, how are you doing, my friend? Dude, huge congratulations on Guinness. That is awesome. That is so cool that you got to participate in that capacity. That is a really neat thing. For those of you who don't know, Vichad is a friend of mine from India, and they recently had it was Ganesha, right? That everybody was sculpting. He got to participate as essentially like a proxy judge for the event to make sure that everything was official and make sure that everything happened the way that it was supposed to. And they had this really cool, I forget how many people you guys had, but it was a good like 3,000 or 4,000 people, I think, if I remember right. Everybody sculpting Ganesha at the same time, and it was awesome. It was so cool to see everybody doing that, all there at the same time. Super neat. Go ahead and insert a loop in there. Yeah, that's a neat opportunity. That's like a once in a lifetime opportunity, but for you it'll probably happen more than once. just because you're that awesome. And for those of you who don't know who it is that I'm talking about, let me show you, because ZBrush has some of the most amazing sculpted pieces. Let me see if I can go ahead and pull it up, and then you should be pretty easy to find. I think you're the only one on here. ZBrush. Yeah, look, check it out. Even just from the title image here, I mean, you can tell that he's just total boss, right? So cool. This piece is super dynamic, by the way. If you ever get a chance to look at it, he has an amazing sense of anatomy and posture and gesture and just everything. So very, very well done. So yeah, I'm gonna put. Oh, and this one's super cool. He actually, I don't know if that's the. This one is super cool. I'll show you guys a couple of pieces because he does these amazing works. He's always involved with the. Oh, there we go. That's that. I guess we'll see the NPR version, and we'll see the. There we go. We'll see the regular version. Oh, yeah. So look at that. Look at how dynamic that is, and just the gesture and the movement, and just. Oh, so cool. It's all beautifully sculpted. We'll go through and we'll look at the other version of this piece. Very, very cool. You can see this one too, the sleeping sphere, he calls it. It's awesome. Yeah, ZBrush is amazing. Like, check that out. This was done at the point when they added Sculptress Pro to ZBrush. In 2018, did it as part of the beta testing, and then and the challenge was they had to start off with a sphere and just sculpt out from the sphere, and so he was able to sculpt this out of, like essentially resting on top of a sphere. It's insane. Hey, Mike, how you doing, buddy? Yeah, amazing work. So stinking cool. So you can see kind of what the result is. You can see there's the sphere that he started out with, and then you can see the Dynamesh, the Sculptress Pro coming out of the top of it. You can see where it's denser. The darker means that there are more points going together in the one area. That's how Sculptress Pro works. Is it's sculptor defined resolution. So wherever you put more definition, that's where the definition is going to go. Get more resolution in those spots and things like that. Really cool. This one is a cheetah. He went through and he was playing with getting these really cool clay brushes working that he built, and it was awesome. It's awesome. Like, you can see some of this stuff that he went through and created using. I'm pretty sure he used photogrammetry to make that, right? Thanks, Leonard. Yeah, this one was using like different project primitives and things like that. Let me see. But yeah, he's amazing. Like, there was a piece that I was working on like this a few years back, in 2014, where I was it was all metal. Like, it was a real piece, and I was working on digitizing it. It was kind of crazy. It was not nearly this crazy though. This is awesome. This is so awesome. But yeah, this piece, this is amazing. I love this piece because of, like, look at all the different lace patterns, things that that ZBrush was able to put in there. It's super cool, and the patterns were done using different techniques of alphas and things like that. That he was able to apply transparencies and things like that to be able to create these full out patterns that then he could just have a lace pattern on top of his figure. It was awesome. It was so cool. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and drop a link to his page for you guys to check that out. Yeah, ZBrush is awesome. Go check him out. I'm going to close down every other page, and we'll just leave that one open so we can have a page to go back to. A nice little fun surprise for next time we have to open up a web page. I'm gonna lower that down just a smidge. Maybe this one too, just a smidge. Mirror and weld. And maybe this has to go over just a little bit too. There we go. Something like that. Something like that. Bring that over. Bring this back. Pull this out. Boom, boom. Boom. Yeah, topology, guys. So far we have all of this working out pretty nicely for us. Let's go ahead, let's pull this out, snap that together, snap that together, oh, snap that together. Oh, snap that together. Okay, make sure that's lining up nicely. So that way when we add topology, it's kind of nice and evenly spaced and looks good. Topology is a super fun challenge to work with. It's one of those things that is absolutely necessary in the world of animation. You know what? I've got an idea. I've got an idea of something I want to do, and it's not going to go away. So we're going to go ahead and do... So we talked about loop going around the opening of the mouth. We're still going to have that. But I think one of the things that I want to have, now that I've gotten far enough into this, I want to have this loop over. If I can get it to loop over without losing what's good. There we go. That's better. And then from here we'll be able to create our mouth the way that we want it. I am using a graphics tablet. I'm using a Wacom tablet, just regular medium size. Let me go ahead and tilt down to show you. So yeah, this tablet. Really super simple. Yeah, it's kind of the same thing that I've been using for the last 14 years. Not the same tablet. It's the same type of tablet. But yeah, I've been using Wacom tablets for about 14 years now, which is super helpful. In school, I had the opportunity to use things like Cintiqs. At work, I use Cintiqs. At home, I can't afford a Cintiq. I can't afford a computer to support a Cintiq. I haven't tried the Xsense Labs tablets. I'm pretty brand loyal with in this regard. It's not often that I'm super brand loyal, but Wacom is one of those that I'm pretty particular with because I have tried a few others oh, sorry. Give me a second here. I have tried the Oyan. I don't know how it's actually supposed to be pronounced. But it was definitely far from being my favorite. I did not like it at all. There are people that use them though. So yeah, I've tried that one. I've tried XP Pen. And XP Pen, from what I understand, has gotten a lot better since the last time I tried it. So I don't know. I might have to try that one again. I wish I had regular water. I think that the body armor might be why I'm having little throat issues here. Whew. Okay, let's finish taking this up and over. As we discussed. Cool. Uh-oh, that wasn't cool. There we go. Okay, let me see. We added in an extra loop there. I'm going to raise this just slightly, just to give myself a little bit more of an even space between these, and we'll just call that groovy. And give ourselves just a slight bit more space here. I'm just trying to achieve as even of a spacing as I can. Okay, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We need one more up on the top. So here's what we're going to do. Here's how we're going to work it out. I'm going to say insert single edge loop here. Let's add one here, get rid of that one. Add one here, and get rid of that one. So that should be good. I need to go through and kind of make it so that it's fitting on the top where it's supposed to be, but you know, we're pretty much there. I have these head spikes on here, which I think are these ones. No? Oh, those were the teeth. Those were the actual teeth. Let's see if I can find where... Huh. They've disappeared. So those are the back spikes, and those will probably stay kind of exactly as they are. Huh. Maybe it's part of... No, it's not part of the head. I'm going to call these eye spikes just to make sure that this is named something that I can get to pretty easily. Let me see. Oh, how much is it? The tablet? A tablet goes for about $300 US. Which would be pretty even with the euro right now. Hey Steven, how's it going? Doing pretty good. Quicks, how you doing? Cool working on Topology and ZBrush. You don't see that often. Very true. Very true. It's an amazing tool, and I feel like it's very very atypical to see people working in ZBrush on Topology. So, yeah, I really enjoy Topology. It's awesome. It is awesome. The retopo stuff is recommended if it's going to be animate. Absolutely. Absolutely. Haven't done it before since I print the models I do. Should consider doing the retopo. The retopo, even for printing stuff, it's really nice because what it allows you to do is have a lighter mesh to be able to work with that you can control. So yeah, it's I always recommend working with like lighter topology. It's one of those things like, you know, you probably do the same thing if you're working with Dynamesh or Sculptris Pro or anything like that. Give me a second. I'm going to need to blow my nose here a second. Give me a second. All right. It's kind of a tricky thing, kind of trying to balance out everything. Deformation, mirror, and weld. All right, cool. I want to stream too, but only with desktop music. Can someone tell me how? I'm not sure, Ibrahim, what your question refers to. You want to stream too, but only with desktop music. Because one of the things that you'll run into with streaming is that they don't want you streaming somebody else's property, somebody else's music, and so yeah, I mean it's one of those things where you'll want to you know, if you're making your own music, that'll be really cool. That would be awesome. I know that there are people that stream that sort of stuff. I personally don't know how to stream that kind of stuff. But I suspect that, you know, that it wouldn't be too difficult to figure out. The big thing that I would consider is whatever kind of visual you're going to have. I think that people that I've seen that do music for their streaming, they have either a program of how they like live mix or or I've kind of lost my train of thought. I do that like entirely too often. Why does that happen, guys? Why do I? Must be the old age. Yeah. No, whatever. Or if you wanted to do just music, you probably want to have some sort of you can use Pretzel Rocks if you wanted to be able to stream and have music playing in the background. If you're wanting to stream art, you could do something like that. NVIDIA Shadow Play, interesting. Haven't heard of that. Yeah, because like if you stream and you have music on, they will go through and they'll mute you, just because of copyright infringement. So yeah, it's one of those things to be super careful with. Any guide where you can learn strong topology fundamentals? I do actually have a course that I offer. Since we're here on ArtStation, I think Are they still doing a sale right now? They might not be doing a sale anymore. Yeah, it looks like they're not doing a sale right now. But I do have like a topology instruction a la carte. I do have the full course available for doing stylized characters. In this course, I go through and I do I have all sorts of things in here that I show, being able to create the sculpts from a concept, being able to create clean topology for like ready for animation. I also display how to create things like facial blend shapes. Sorry, I'm trying to like not have the little specks of light like hit me in the face. Yeah, facial blend shapes for expressions and things like that. How to pose, how to prep it for 3D print, all sorts of things. It's really, really fun, and you can get either the topology a la carte, to be able to see that, or you could get the 3D printing engineering a la carte. It's been a pretty popular course. It's been good. And then it's also available on flipped normals. Oh, look at that. It's on the staff picks right now. So so real fun. Full course. And this one might actually have more pictures that I can show. So let's go ahead and check this out. Yeah, here we go. So you can see like here's this. I even go through showing like some like 3 or 4 different techniques for creating pieces of clothing. And since it's a mermaid, it doesn't really technically, mermaids don't typically wear clothing. So I decided to go ahead and add that in there as a way of being able to show some techniques. Splitting things out for 3D printing. In fact, I've got her printed out right here. Let me show you if let me switch back over to the view that must not be named. So yeah, there we go. We got her right there. Yeah, got her tail. She has her arms and everything. I won't put those in because I don't want them to fall and break. But she's in the process of being painted. I need to go through and do some work on this tail, and I need to get the hair printed. I don't have a printer big enough to handle the hair, and I don't want to use up just resin to be able to do that. I want to probably do something FDM, so gotta commission somebody. But yeah, that's kind of where that's at, and that was a fun project. That was one that a friend of mine designed. Her name is Maike. She's from Germany. And yeah, it was just a fun little project. But I was able to go ahead and see, there's like facial expression sort of thing going on there. Lots of fun stuff. It's really fun. I wish that I had access to things like this when I was going to school, because I'm self-taught in these aspects, so it's fun. It's really, really good. So being able to do nice clean topology for animation, I feel like that's something that is, oh, you know what? I'm gonna delete that. Do something kind of like that. It's something that is definitely super, super important. And like I said, I try to keep things clean, even if I'm working on something for print. Not bridge, extrude. It's not wanting to work right now. Let's see. Yeah, we have an extra face in there. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to say mirror, mirror and weld. Yeah, it's like I've got a couple of extra faces in here now. So I'm going to try to get rid of you can only like barely see it down here. There we go. Got rid of that one. There we go. So now it should be good. Okay. Yes. Annyeong. Your face is covering the screen. You're right. Isn't that what you guys want to say? Don't you guys come to see me? Isn't that what no. Shoot. You're right. It's okay. There were a couple of pieces here that were super messy, so it's all right. You guys can avoid the storm. All right. Extra big face in there. The biggest big face. There we go. Now we're getting what we came for. Okay. So here's where things are going to get. That's not going to work. I need to turn on the mesh here. Get that connected down there. Bring that point back so that it's so that it's, you know, hitting the point on the surface that I want. And you know what? I'm going to raise this up just a smidge. We'll have to see kind of like where it all ends up. But I think that having something kind of like this would be helpful. Let me see. That should be good. Bring this up. Bring that up. And I'll have to, you know, I'll make adjustments as I go along, like for sure, like I do with everything, right? But it's a balancing act, and you know, as you go through and you try to get one thing in balance, you know, something else kind of falls out of balance, or you discover new things and you get ideas, and it's just kind of how all of this works. It's all about finding balance and creating as it comes. Oh no. So yeah, you can see things like this, like these 5-pointed stars. It's something to definitely not be afraid of. They're tools to be able to change the direction of the flow of the... Oh, that got messy right there. Let's see if we can get this to... There we go. There we go. That's more what I was expecting. Mirror and weld. Oh. There we go. Just to make sure that's nice and even. We'll worry about a lot of these. You know, Leonard, I might take you up on that. Email me. Let me know what you charge. Yeah, because Lightbox is not very far away, and I definitely want to have that that full piece finished out for Lightbox. It's like collapsing down too much. It's one of the tricky things about topology inside of ZBrush. It's just how sensitive things are in getting them welded together. Thanks, man. You know what? Maybe I'll make that the it's like I'm going to have to make it so that I have like a corner right here, but then I want to have like edges flowing around it. So essentially there'll be this sort of thing going on here. Sounds like the kids are watching Kim Possible downstairs. I haven't thought of Kim Possible for a long, long time. Although I did recently try to get like the little chime onto my phone for like text messages, but I haven't gotten that to work at all yet. Okay, right here we're going to want to do something similar where we have like another kind of break and flow. So I'm trying to figure out how exactly I want to manage this. Let's go ahead and add in a loop there. Let's go back to extrude, and we'll just extrude this down. Try to get that as perpendicular to the surface as I can. That way it just kind of helps to keep things like the structure in there. It's kind of nice. When you create an insert mesh brush, is there a possibility to offset the point of insertion instead of the center of the mesh? You can change the depth. But no, you cannot. So like horizontal, like you know, whatever piece you use. Let's grab let's grab this one. Sure. Yeah, this piece is always going to do it from the center, but you can see like it inserted it so that the bottom of that piece dragged out onto the surface. The thing that we can change is the depth. You know, so we can change it so that it comes out embedded, but as far as being able to change it as it's like, you know, offset in any direction, I don't think there's a way to do that. Orientation, twist, surface, elasticity, samples, depth, curve, create. Yeah, no, I don't think there's a way to be able to do that. Is that kind of what you were asking there, Dionisio? It's kind of an interesting question, kind of an interesting thought. I'm going to get rid of that loop for now, just because we don't need it quite yet. Extrude edge, bring that down. Snap that. In fact, let's go ahead and kind of put this up in the center. Just so that way, that 5 point is giving me the functionality, but it's in a low deformation area. I'd be interested to hear, Dionisio, I'd be interested to hear, like I guess what is the scenario that you're looking at to be able to try to make that sort of thing happen? Because that's a very peculiar situation for me, and I never even thought about trying to do something like that, and I can't think of a situation where I would want to. What's the application for you? 'Cause that's a peculiar idea. If I can get my English right. So far this is working out really nicely. I'm liking how this flow is working. I'm getting everything working kind of the way that I want. So that's exciting. I'll keep that like that. Thanks, Leonard. I'm gonna go ahead and turn off those teeth. The teeth eventually I'll have, or I guess I'm thinking about having. Maybe it's something I'll do just with displacement. I'm thinking about having the teeth kind of built in, not like built in, like so like the teeth are part of the mesh, but having like kind of like gums, like gum holes kind of built in, so that there's something of a cavity there. The reason I want to think about doing something like that is that it would possibly allow me to, when I do texturing, I could use something like the ambient occlusion map or the displacement map to be able to define darker areas, to be able to get me a little bit of like a discoloration around those areas, the darker for the set in, get some highlight for the areas that are popping out. So that's something that I'm trying to think about doing. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see how we go about it. Oops. There we go. Tune in for our next ZBrush Industry Spotlight featuring Mike Thompson. Oh, Mike is awesome, guys. Mike is so stinking cool. He has, if you're not familiar with Mike Thompson, I don't watch his streams as often as I feel like I probably should. He does a lot of like super cool superhero stuff. And his in fact, let me pull him up because he's really cool. Not Mike Thompson, that one. ZBrush. We'll go to his art station. Yeah, there we go. This is super cool. This is super cool. This is super cool. Oh yeah, his Thundercats, his Lion-O. He's got several posts of Lion-O. Look at that. He's got Luke Cage. Looks like he's got a couple different. Oh, Black Dynamite. A few of his pieces aren't as, or like his recent work, like Lino, it was super amazing. These guys up here are super cool. It's Ahsoka Tano and Darth Maul. That's so tight. Carnage. Look at how beautifully all these little tendrils are kind of coming off of him and everything. It's so neat. Like, this one's more appealing to me than the one that was in the film. But whatever. Super cool. Yeah, Darth Maul. You can see like the blurs on these lightsabers and how much motion that puts into it. So cool. It's so clever too. Getting that motion blur sculpted in. Man, can't believe I didn't like that one yet. Look at that. The last turtle. Got Mikey with all of his different armor pieces. All the different weapons from his comrades. It's kind of some fun anatomy going into his torso. But this one is one that I've watched a couple of his streams for, and it's awesome. So here, let me drop you a link because this is super cool. Let me see. It's a bit strange. My aim is to insert some feather-like mesh by hand. It'd be useful to have the pivot, the root, and yeah, I see what you're saying. So what you could do is, like, when you create a feather, is instead of having it be, let's create something real quick. This is going to be like super rudimentary so that it's not, so it doesn't take me too long. There we go. Extend it out. Et voila. Et feather. Okay. So one of the things that you could do is, instead of drawing it out like this to make to make the IMM brush, you could draw it out like this so that you're doing it top down. And then what you could do is see brush, create insert mesh, new. And so now when you go ahead and you draw it out, it's drawing out from the root. That's kind of the best that I can think of with that, is that just changing the direction that you're looking at it when you are creating the brush, and that'll make all that difference there. But yeah, we're here to talk about Dino Topo. I am trying to consider different ways to get maybe like an extra. Maybe I just need to let the process keep going, but whatever. I'm just gonna keep going. Let's go. Let's do this. Z Modeler, extrude, do the edge thing. You know what? Let's bring this back so that it's not quite as extended. Bring this out so that it kind of matches the top right here. And granted, I have I have like 2 extra loops, like 2 intermediate loops down here that I don't have up top. I'm not going to worry about that too much for yet. Nadira, hello. Quicks. Is there a way to use the move brush for shaping and not just transposing? On multiple subtools. Yeah, but you have to use it inside of the transpose master. So you use the T-pose mesh, and then you can go ahead and you can move everything at the same time, which is nice. Works really well. Let me see. So that was that. Geometry, mirror and weld. Oh no. Deformation, mirror and weld. It's always a matter of getting that proper side in there because it makes a difference. Yeah, for sure. I try to answer questions because I feel like, you know, ZBrush Live is an educational resource, and it's a way for me to be able to, help people in a free way. But it's an educational resource, and I think that for it to be a decent educational resource, I think that people need to be able to ask questions, and sometimes I don't get to everything, and sometimes that's by choice, sometimes that's whatever. But yeah, I really like being able to chat, being able to answer questions. I think that it's helpful and it's fun. It gets my brain thinking sometimes. Sometimes you guys come up with some really good questions that I'm just like, how do you do that? Let me see. Is that going to be... I'm trying to decide if that's going to be enough. I don't think it's going to be enough. So let's try... insert, something like that. Oh, change back to extrude. Mirror and weld. And those could be things that if I wanted to, I could take them out and make them part of my UI. I might at some point, but for right now, it's not super important to me. I don't change my UI on purpose. Some of you guys might notice I just use the vanilla ZBrush. No changes, no extras, no add-ons. The only thing that I change are my hotkeys. And I find that to be super, super helpful, is having hotkeys. Yeah, that's kind of my secret, what it is that I do. Different people will have different things. A lot of people here on ZBrush Live have their custom hotkeys. I mean, they're the custom UIs. Hey, gorgeous. But I like to have things in kind of a default location so that people know, like, oh, okay, I know where I keep mirror and weld. I know where I keep, different things like that. And at work, I'm always working with people who are I guess less ZBrush inclined. Like it's not part of their job, so it's not like a big thing for them to have all the latest and greatest or whatever. Let's go through and kind of stack this out. Have you checked out any of the new shows? House of the Dragon, Rings of Power, She-Hulk? I have. Yeah, hotkeys are great. I haven't gotten into Rings of Power. That one just barely came out. I do have some friends that are super interested in Rings of Power. I'd love to watch it. I just don't have Amazon Prime or whatever the service is to be able to watch that. I have been watching, or rather, I have started House of the Dragon. I'm kind of partway through the second episode. I haven't gotten all the way through it yet. I haven't watched the new episode of She-Hulk yet, but I've enjoyed that one so far. I kind of I enjoy the way that she breaks the fourth wall, and just all these different little funny things about about her, the way that she functions as a character, the way that the writing works. It's been pretty fun. The dragon designs, I need to probably go back and rewatch or finish watching, because it's like like I said, I'm just part way through. Hey Prashan, how you doing, buddy? They seemed like they were pretty good. They felt like they were really different. Like they were really different from the ones from Game of Thrones. So I'm not sure what's motivating that change. I personally feel like I prefer the dragons from the Game of Thrones. Just because I feel like the designs were more, I don't know, they felt more natural to me. These ones almost feel a little bit too like too fantastical. Like it's like they're trying to make them feel fantasy dragon, and they lose the track of the dragon part a little bit. It's like that part in Thor: Love and Thunder where Thor's got his new armor and he's trying to like one up Natalie Portman, and he's got like all these extra pieces and bits and bobs that he never had before, but he's just trying to be bigger and badder, you know. So it's funny. Um, yeah, I think it's that kind of feeling. Um, they're the Thor dragons. Yeah, overall, not bad. It's just I feel like they're not as strong as the ones from Game of Thrones. Um, do I want them to change it? Oh yeah. No, just kidding. Thor riding a dragon, especially a House of the Dragon, and then having his extra armor on, you know. Yeah, Thor's been one of my favorites. Marvel films. I've watched it several times. Um, I couldn't quote it to you, but it's so much funny. Yeah, too much detail on the dragons for sure. Do you think it's worse to remesh right after making an adaptive skin? Um, are you talking like remesh by? What do you mean by remesh? Do you mean like retopologize? Um, I think it's never too early to start doing your retopology. There will be times where you'll get through and you'll do part of your topology, and then you'll be like, I want to work on the feet some more. And it's like, for instance, the feet are probably about as done as I'm going to have it for the block in, and I'm just going to do my topology on top of that. Like I'll probably go ahead and do topology for the base part of the foot, and then I'll do a toe, like one toe, and then I'll duplicate it over and duplicate it, duplicate it around to be able to make these different parts. And then I'll figure out how I bridge them into the main foot from there with the topology. Really, the rest of it's kind of just fine for what I need. And then after I do one arm, I'll go ahead and I'll duplicate that back to be the second arm. And then I might use that, to be able to do the hind leg as well. It's kind of tricky though. We'll have to see kind of how it is that we go about it, because these legs are, they're different. The hind leg is very different from these four legs, the forward legs. So it's just kind of a matter of trying to play, trying to figure it out. Lots of fun. Speaking of Thor, it's going to be interesting when God of War Ragnarok comes out, since the Thor design is totally different. That's funny. I want to become a character artist. Is it advisable to base my pipeline on just using ZBrush? No. My pipeline uses ZBrush and Maya. You're going to need, because like for instance, I do a lot of topology inside of ZBrush, but there are things inside of ZBrush that I just can't do. Inside, like UVs, I can't do UVs inside of ZBrush. I can do rough UVs that are good enough to be able to do proof of concept type things, but I don't have the ability to good work. I don't have the ability to do my full pipeline inside of ZBrush. I can do a lot of it. I do a lot of my texturing work, since I see the substance painter question down there. I do my texturing work, a lot of my texturing work inside of ZBrush, and then I'll supplement it with Photoshop, and just manipulating the maps. Which is fun, and it works really, really well. But yeah, it's definitely a process. There's a lot to it. For instance, I won't be able to go in and get all the definition in the eye, or even all the refined topology here inside of ZBrush, because in using my move brush, my move point part of that ZModeler brush, points weld together when they get too close. So in order to get that to be final and working the way that I need it to, I will have to go ahead and do like my finalizing pass inside of Maya. But it's great. Take this, move it something like that. It's always kind of tricky, like making some decisions like this, but I feel like that was a good one. It was a good kind of, I hadn't been thinking about that. I hadn't been planning it. I was going to take both of these up and over, but I feel like having this go and turn out that way will help me to support the shape of that lower jaw a little bit better. So yeah, it's kind of a nice. Fun, happy accident. I'm going to take this out, kind of like this. I may go ahead and take this and start kind of going up like this. It seems like a good option for this spot. Oops. What in the world? Let's kind of bring that up so that that's connected in the great circle of life. And pull this over here or something like that. Yeah, topology is really fascinating, and the things that I'm thinking about while I'm doing topology, I'm trying to think about how the edge flow is going to support the form, how it's going to make the shapes that I need. I'm also trying to think about when it deforms, I want to make sure that the topology is very that it can deform in a linear fashion instead of having to like shift. The more I can avoid kind of a shifting in the topology, like a side-to-side motion instead of like a forward and backward sort of motion, thinking an accordion, so like going forward and backward like this. You can see like with the mouth, I've got the corner of the mouth with like this forward and backward. This as the mouth like opens and closes, those points are going to move in a linear direction toward and away from each other. So like these are sorts of things that you want to be thinking about as a production artist. Now it's not super evenly spaced. I'm going to have to add resolution to make sure that all that's working, but the topology is starting to be blocked in a way that works really, really nicely for us. So let's keep it going. And when I say add resolution, I'll be doing that by hand, not by like for instance, right here I have this nice series of these nice squares. In order to get that to be even through here, I'm going to have an extra loop right here. I'm going to have an extra loop right here, and I'm going to add those in by hand using ZModeler. But I'm not going to do that yet because I'm still working on blocking in my flow. And so by keeping this stage really low like this and having really kind of just the bare minimum of what I need, it allows me a lot of flexibility in getting shapes and working on forms and being able to work out the topology flow the way that I need it, rather than focusing too early on other things. I'm trying to figure out if this is going to work for me or if I need to figure out something else. Let me do something else. I wonder. Nah, that'd be too much. I'm going to take this up and over. There'll be a little bit of like a change to form here, but that should be fine. Let's make sure that we've got our let's mirror and weld. Just to make sure that stays nice and clean, so we can see kind of what's going on here. So one of the things I'm trying to decide, I need to figure out a better solution for this. Because I feel like I do want to have this ridge kind of come back and loop down. So maybe it's a matter of having let's put a loop in here. Since we were talking about adding resolution in by hand, this is kind of what I'm talking about. So let's go through and we'll just kind of wiggle these points to the surface. Okay, so what I want to do, let's go ahead and do something like this too. Just to be able to help support that shape a little bit better. I'm not going to worry about this right now. I'm not going to worry about this right now. I am going to kind of, let's jiggle. Pull that along somewhere like that. Okay, so the thing that I want to do, I gotta think through kind of how I wanna work this out. I want let's say extrude. Let's play with this a little bit. Let's see what we can get. Oh, come on, you. Bring that over here like that. Let's kind of match that on the other side. Extrude this out. Oh, it looks like that's not hitting the surface there. There we go. Get this to come over. Something like that. Boom. And then I have these, let me show you real quick. I have these three edges right here. So I'm thinking what I'm going to do is I'm going to have this wrap around and go to the other side. And that'll help give me, hopefully, hey Siri, how you doing? Oh. That was funny. Let me see. I gotta scroll up a little bit. I'm losing track of. So when you're texturing in ZBrush, you do the retopology, then UV in Maya, then re-import to ZBrush, subdivide the mesh for good poly paint resolution, then finish off in photo. Yeah. Yeah. And what's nice is that once I have my mesh, oh, you know what, I could do that. That could be cool. Once I have my mesh, even if I have all my subdivisions and texturing and sculpting and everything done inside of ZBrush, I can then go ahead and say underneath the Z plugin, I can go to UV master, and it has this work on clone function. So if I hit that, it's going to bring this piece out separate from our working file, and it's going to allow us to export this as an OBJ. I'll take that over into Maya, do my UVs, re-import it over top of this, copy the UVs using the copy UVs function under UV master, and then I'll come back over to my other piece, hit paste UVs, and it's done. And all the texture, everything works beautifully. It's so nice. So nice. Already, yeah, that's my pipeline. That's kind of what I do. I haven't really been in Substance for a few years, so it's that one's a little bit rusty for me. But yeah, using that sort of pipeline is awesome. Something I think about is it better to arrange UVs in order to be painted in 2D, or maximize the UV space but painting only done in 3D. Let me see if I understand your question, Prashan. Is it better to arrange UVs in order? So I like to arrange, like I use the UDIM workflow. So like instead of having just one UV texture tile, I have like several, however many it takes. So for this particular character, I think I get like a limit of 10. So I'll have to double check to make sure, but I'll be able to use those 10. So like for instance, I'll use one for the eyes, I'll use one, and maybe I'll do one so that you have like two eyes on the one, or I can do one square that has the eyes kind of overlapping, kind of a different technique there. I'll have a tile for all the different nails, for the spikes that'll be going down his back, his teeth, all those things will go onto another tile. The tongue will likely go onto that same tile because of UDIM budget. And then I want to be able to use the rest of the UDIM tiles to be able to build out, to like texture out his body, and have as high fidelity textures as I can. So I'll have like the head on one tile, I'll have like the neck and shoulders on another, I'll have a set of arms on each. Sorry, hold on, give me a second. A set of arms on each on their own square, that sort of thing. So I'll keep going and go through and split it out in a way that I can visually understand it. But that doesn't necessarily mean that everything's going to have kind of its own space. It's it's an interesting thing, and it's something I have to go through and think about a little bit more. But I'll think about it more as I'm actually doing it. We'll have to see if maybe I can go ahead and record it and make a make a UV workflow or something like that. That'll be cool. While I was adjusting topology, I've had points weld together that got too close. Is there a way to split those points again? Yes, but it takes some work. Hope to see you back in Hamar. Yeah, Hamar is beautiful. It was such a great place to visit. I was blown away. I was blown away. I mean, you saw how much I liked those rocks. Those are some beautiful rocks. It's a nice boulder. Yeah. Yeah, I loved anybody who goes to kind of visit Norway. Oslo's fun. It's got some great architecture, some cool museums, and beautiful artwork, and some really cool cultural stuff. But the really, really beautiful areas in Norway are going to be like outside of Oslo. Lots of green. They got the fjords. They've got the Mjøsa. They've got all sorts of really cool things about Norway that are just, it's amazing. It's amazing. Yeah, Michael, you're on here too. That's funny. Yeah, the rock picture collection. It goes as well as it could be going, I guess. Did I at least answer your question, Prashant? Did that fit at all with what you were trying to get out of that? Trying to make sure that I don't leave you hanging too bad. Oh, okay. Here, let's go up here to this top and see if we got the. Thanks, Prashant. Yeah, let me see. That's doing about what I need it to be doing. Ooh. Here we go. I'm gonna do this independent of everything else for right now, just so that I can kind of test something out. This, maybe I can bring this back, bring this forward, insert, boom, move points, weld, oh my goodness, and now I've got this square here, so that's beautiful. Extrude, move points, move points. Hey, how you doing? You watching Kim Possible downstairs? Is that a no? Okay, that feels like it is getting... Yeah, I'm going to try something just to see if I like it. If I don't like it, then I'll fix it. And I think that might work well enough for us. Let's go ahead and pull this back. The other thing that I had thought of is kind of bring this back so that it was more where it is that we had it. I had thought of possibly doing something where I have like an extra edge loop in here, which could be really nice since I need the resolution anyway, to be able to define that brow a little bit better. And then the other thing that I was thinking is, so then it would have to continue on through here, but then this could come down and connect here. This could connect over here. This could connect over here. And then we just have like, you know, bridge. Boop. Boop. I don't need this. Insert. Get rid of that. So I mean that should work pretty well. Let's go ahead. Let's. Oh, guys! Speaking in Norway, we went to a film festival. A friend that was in town, who went to Gobelin, and she invited my wife and I to this film festival that they had participated in, and it was BAFTA, BAFTA, and there were a lot of really neat films and short films that we were able to see as part of this student showcase, and it was awesome. One of the ones that we saw was from Norway, so it was interesting because it was documentary of this this gal who was going through cancer, and kind of the hardship that she was experiencing in the recovery. Like, even though things were getting better, she just had this, looming overwhelm of disappointment and fear that, things weren't actually getting better, and that there was something else happening under the hood, that, it was going to get worse at any minute. She was just waiting for the bad news to fall and all that stuff. And it was a really fascinating little documentary. But what was fun about it was that I was able to go through and watch. I was able to see like areas in Oslo that I'd walked down, and I was like, "That's halfway around the world. I've been there," Yeah, it was neat. Bless you. I make retopo. Yes. I make all of my retopo. I don't retopo everything, but I do make all of my retopo. And there's a lot left to do to make this work right, but it's coming along. It is coming along. I was gonna think there was something I was gonna say just now. Oops. Yeah, it's always a mess at the beginning, but you know, it's to be expected. It's a process. It is a process. Let's go ahead and do our mirror and weld. Just to make sure that we, oh no, we got a booger right there. All right. Yeah, I knew something was off there. Turn off symmetry, and then I can just kind of move that over and then hit mirror and weld, and we're good. Maybe I just need to get used to working on the side that actually mirrors. The side that actually mirrors when I weld. You know, looking at this, I'm curious. Maybe I might go ahead and build in the brow here the way that I did on the other side. Let's do it. Okay, the way that I feel like I'm going to do this, I'm going to insert a loop here. Let's move this point, move this point, move this point, move this point. I am going to want to have, how am I going to do this? Let's see. What I need to insert a loop up here too. Oh, we hit 10 o'clock. Did I finish that interior piece? No, I haven't finished that piece yet. I need to. I want to. Oh, that's not what I wanted. I don't want insert. I want extrude. And then we'll just say bridge. So that this way I get... You're so funny, Scarlett. That way I get kind of like this brow edge flow coming around. And the idea, I didn't want bridge, I want extrude, is to have something like this. Let's get rid of this loop right here. Get rid of that. Oh, file save. How was the park the other week? Did you go to the Pixar Pier? We did. I think I might have gone to the wrong gift shop though. I didn't see Bing Bong or Sadness at all. Maybe it was. You said they were at the Knick-Knack shop, right? The one over kind of by where the they had that nice eatery that's looking out over the lake, I guess, whatever we want to call it, over the reservoir. Is that what you were referring to, or was it something else? Bridge those edges. Boom. Boom. I think that this might work better for me, because then it'll give me kind of that definition. Although I kind of want it to be the same on the front as it is on the back. I don't like how that's connecting right here. The candy shop at the boardwalk. I'll try again. I will try again. You know what? Something I want to try right here, right now. I'll try getting rid of this top section. Just going to get rid of some of the eye, and that's okay. We'll bring it back. Control W. Just to be able to define landmarks a little bit differently, a little bit better. Something I want to try. Just kind of extrude this off and see what it is that it gives me, because I get that 5 point right there, 4 point right there. And the thing that I'm trying to do is get it so that I don't have, get it rather so that I do have a little bit more of an offset, so that edge doesn't go like, I don't know, because this little bit right here, especially back here, I want this to flow down into this, but I want it to flow around, so it's like it's going to be a matter of taking this, adding in an extra loop in here, moving that point down. Then we can collapse the poly loop just to kind of even that out. Something that we're going to want to be very careful with, though, is that our points are getting kind of close together up through here. So we want to be careful that we don't accidentally weld those together, because it'll do it without a second hesitation. It'll it'll mess it up. There you go. Kind of just match it to the surface a bit better again. okay, I know what you're talking about now. I was going to send you a picture of my nephew and his fiance, so if you spotted them, you could ask if he was related to me. Didn't want to freak him out. That'd be hilarious. The candy mound was a nightmare to produce. I could believe that. Let me see. I don't like having that change of flow by a change of flow. It's just kind of, I don't know, that feels awkward. So I think what I'm going to do, and I think maybe it's awkward because it's coming and it's going and it's looping back around. I don't know. It's going to be a tricky one. I'll have to think about it, and then I'll come back to it later, I think. I think it could be worthwhile to just kind of stew on this one for a little bit. Not let myself spin wheels too much. Do I still stream on my personal channel? Not as much. I try to do streaming on here as often as I can because, you know, I feel like more people come around and come have fun. But I don't necessarily get as much time outside of this to be able to not collapse. No, please don't collapse. To be able to do stuff, and I don't know that I necessarily have the energy to do it either. So between work and, you know, trying to hang out with the family and things like that, mirror and weld. So yeah, it just gets to be kind of kind of tricky. So yeah, I haven't really streamed much on my personal channels. I might stream a little bit on my personal channels to be able to finish this guy out, because I have until essentially like the end of the month. And I've got my new art challenge for SMAARTIST 34 coming out this month, which will actually have a giveaway. This is going to be like the coolest giveaway. Here we go. Okay. I don't know if, let me pull up the, so I've actually gotten to partner with Space Mouse 3D Connection. And so the challenge this month, keep an eye out on my Instagram. There'll be a giveaway. So there'll be a giveaway for the Space Mouse, a giveaway for the CAD mouse, which is awesome. I have one myself. They gave me one of these and one of these to be able to keep and one to be able to give away. Super awesome. The mouse is really fun. It's got tons of different buttons on there that that work really well. The wheel is super neat because it's got this like super power wheel sort of function to it. Quick zoom. Yeah, that was really cool too. And you got 3 ways to be able to connect. You got the Bluetooth, you got the wireless little nib that you can plug into your USB, and then you got the USB cable too. The Space Mouse takes some getting used to, but it's super cool. I like using it a lot inside of Maya. I haven't gotten used to it inside of ZBrush yet, so I'm not using it on the stream right now. But it's really, really cool. And so yeah, here, let me go ahead and I'll add my Instagram here. HTTPS. You can find me just down below over there. Pretty much anywhere as SMAARTIST. Seen some animators use it. That's pretty cool. SMAARTIST, and there we go. I have the smaller space mouse. I can't live without it now. It's a really interesting tool. It's a really interesting tool because of the way that it navigates, and it's got this really fluid motion to it. It's something super, super different from anything I'd ever used before, and I've super enjoyed using it. It does have that learning curve. It is tricky to get used to, but yeah, like Prashant, like you're talking about, I mean, it's a pretty useful tool. This one is the Space Mouse Pro. My friend Vichar, who was on here earlier, he got the Enterprise. Yeah, let me, I guess, get rid of the webcam view so we can actually see what I'm working on. He got the Enterprise, which has like a billion buttons on it. I didn't see that one being useful for me personally, so I ended up just getting the Pro. But it's a neat tool. It's a neat tool. I think if granted, somebody can correct me if I'm wrong. I think that the Enterprise has programmable buttons. A lot of different ways to be able to kind of put in your hotkeys and your shortcuts and things like that. The Pro it's just simple. It's more streamlined. Let me grab it. It's more streamlined. You can see it's got a few buttons on there. Let's jump back into that webcam view. You can see it's got like it's got like a fit button. It's got it's got Alt. It's got Escape, Shift, Control. All these like main buttons that you would use inside of ZBrush. It's got 1, 2, 3, 4. I haven't dug into like what those buttons do or can do. I think those ones might be actually programmable. So, yeah, super cool. I haven't explored enough with this yet to be able to be like super good with it yet. But yeah, so giveaway, art challenge. Keep an eye on my Instagram. The challenge will be starting soon, and it will be running now through, or like when it starts. It'll be running through Lightbox. Lightbox is when the winner will be kind of announced. And the winner, if they're around, if they're at Lightbox, they'll be able to come pick it up from me. So that'll be really cool. I'll also have like stickers and things like that as part of the giveaway too. But fun stuff. Put it back over on my desk. What's Lightbox? Lightbox is an expo. Let me see. I'll show you real quick. This is Lightbox. It's a big animation expo, and it's happening in Pasadena. You can see there's Pasadena right there, the convention center. For the pandemic, during the pandemic, it was virtual like this. But then they went through and like the first year they had it was 2019, and we were on site. It was in person. It was great. I've got a booth here this year. It's the first year we've been back since the pandemic, so it's great. It's so exciting. Yeah, you can see my banners here behind me. I was so excited about them. I was like, I want to have them hanging behind me. Yeah, let me see. Let me show you. Let's go back to this so you guys can see kind of some of what's going through the video here. Yeah, lots. It's an animation industry convention, and it's amazing. There are so many cool opportunities, different presentations, different portfolio reviews. Oh, that was cool. Bird, I like that. Oh, Andrea, Hey, oh my gosh, I'm seeing people I recognize. Oh, cool. And Tom. Or Tony. I couldn't see enough information there to be able to guess between the two. Um, yeah, the Bancroft brothers are really nice. I really like them. Laura. Yeah, lots of really cool opportunities there. It's super super neat. So yeah, if you're in the area, I would say totally come check it out. Have fun. It's great. Um, Lots of really fun, great, neat stuff here to really check out. Oh, Loish is going to be here, huh? Mike Mignola, Ralph Grassetti, Ross Draws, the Bancroft brothers, and so many more. Cool. Yeah, it's exciting. October 14th through the 16th. There might be some sort of like hybrid stuff. If you're not going to be here in person, you might be able to. Um, there might be different things broadcast out. So I mean, we'll have to see. I don't know. I don't know how it's going to be worked out this year, but oh, somebody got proposed to. That's fun. But yeah. So Lightbox, that's exciting. It's so exciting. I'm probably way more excited about it than I ought to be, but that's good. That's good. I should be excited, right? I did. Yeah, excitement. Excitement. Cool. Let's keep building this out. Let's see if we can finish building out the head, and maybe I'll start building out the inside of the mouth. Um, and then we'll call it good for the day. We're already after 10 o'clock, so we'll call it good pretty soon here. And then I'm going to go and enjoy a 3-day weekend. Because, that's what we do. September's kind of nice from that standpoint that it's starting to be fall, starting to let's kind of change this so that it's more kind of in the middle. Because it's starting to be fall. Ideally it would start to be cooler in temperature. It's where my birthday falls, so that's kind of cool. Which is the whole reason of doing like the art challenge. Your parents are playing music now. Oh no. Yeah, it's always kind of funny. Like my father-in-law loves to play his rancheras like really loud. Well, not always like ranchera. He does some, but he does like a lot of like the old classic um, Hispanic music. Juan Antonio Solis. Marco Antonio Solis. Celia Cruz. All sorts of different. Different things. Okay, so this is going to get fun. This bit, I'm going to want to make sure that I establish down to about right here, just so that I have a good indication as to like how I'm going to define this muscle. I think I'm going to have, let's see, let's bring this down to about right there so that we can get that connection for the neck. Finish connecting this out. And then this will be like a 5-pointed star right here to be able to get the bridge going out. Okay, so now we can get this coming down. And this will help to define that neck muscle. It's so cool. So cool. Let me see. Base color choosing. That's a good question. I mean, a lot of the, like, I still don't have any kind of color scheme for this guy yet. So I will be going through and kind of doing some tests inside of Procreate, just while I'm not inside of ZBrush. And then I will and I might do tests inside of ZBrush too. I don't know. It's just that I'm not always tied to the computer, and so sometimes I like to fidget with things inside of Procreate, since it's since it's available for me, and it's there. It's easy wherever, it's portable. It's a nice tool. I really enjoy Procreate. Let's kind of pull this back a little bit. Pull this back a little bit. That feels a little bit more even, a little bit better. I want to have this stay a little bit closer together because I want that to define kind of like a sharper transition there. But yeah. I remember one year when we were still in the office, my company hired a mariachi band for Cinco de Mayo. My back was turned and snuck up behind me and started playing. Yeah. You test inside Procreate, not Substance Paint. No, I'm not doing like textures. I'm doing like color, like just trying to like paint and figure things out that way. No, you can't get banned for streaming on multiple platforms at the same time. Yeah, it's, so what we use for the streams for Pixelogic, and I do it for my personal stream too. We use something called Restream, and it's a great way to be able to just stream out to multiple platforms. Yeah. So I'm yeah, just an official streamer. I've been streaming with Pixelogic for like 5 years now, 6 years maybe. I don't know, like five. It's been a while. It's been a while. Yeah, about 5 years I think. Um, it's been fun. I really enjoy streaming with these guys. Um, they've been a great company to be associated with. They've been good friends for me. I want to see. It's like this is a lot of topology coming down into this little point, and I don't want to have it be too pinched. So I'm trying to be very careful about how I treat it and how I get it to flow. All the faces have yellow, red, blue color tone. I'm not sure what you're referring to. Yeah. Kind of spread that out, cozy it out a bit. Just kind of even it out so that we have a nice, kind of even fanning out. Go. Sweet. Okay. So now part of what we're going to have, and let's kind of bring things down. We'll work through it as we talk about it. We're going to have these edges kind of come out a little bit here to the center. It's starting to look so cool, guys. Like this is one of those exciting things for me, is having the topology starting to work. That was not working. Turn off symmetry, mirror and weld. Okay. So we have this going to come up, and it's going to essentially kind of wrap around here, so we can kind of support that crease underneath the jawline. Oops. I guess we could do that and then hit X to be able to turn on symmetry, mirror, and weld, so that we're good. And we got to make sure to taper it so that it's not going to be too straight. If it's too straight, there won't be enough room for the next edge over. Let's kind of pull that back, pull this back a little bit. I'm going to use just the regular move brush to kind of put this into place. But you'll notice that it's kind of like tapering down. It's getting thinner down here than it is up here, and that's just kind of part of that accordion function. So as the mouth closes, that'll kind of like ease out a little bit. As the head tilts up, that'll ease out a little bit, and it'll get like more of an even spacing. So it's all about kind of maintaining that that accordion sort of function. How to work with those in particular. Oh, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. Yeah, it's a neat function. It's a neat yeah, it's just neat. See, that's too even right there, so I'm just going to kind of space that out a little bit differently. And I'm actually going to go ahead and turn off the legs, since they're kind of in the way for right now. We're not worried about the legs at the moment anyway, so front legs, mid legs, back legs. And we'll turn them back on for the end of the stream, but it's good enough for right now. Kind of make it so that they get a little bit shorter as they come out here. Make sure that's connected. Okay. So now what we want to do is I'm going to start by kind of bringing that out like that. Oops. Kind of make it so that we have one less point to worry about, and then we can start to kind of make this flow down into here. So let's go ahead. Let's hit insert. We have to look at this. We have 1, 2, 3. So we need to make sure we've got 1, 2, 3. Just got to make sure this is kind of positioned nicely here. We can look at it from the side view here and make sure that things are lining up nicely. And we can start to extrude. Boom. Boom. I'm not sure. Might I think we'll definitely continue this project next week. I will be streaming. Oh no. I will be streaming next week as well, and I'll be streaming kind of just generally like on Saturday mornings for the next little while, especially as I try to wrap up on this contest, on this on the art challenge. So I would encourage you guys, like, if you're interested at all in growing, in pushing yourself in ZBrush or in design or whatever, I would totally go up and join the ArtStation challenge. It's one of my favorite ways. Like, doing challenges are my favorite ways to be able to to challenge myself, to figure out new things, to learn, to explore, experiment. I mean, like, you'll notice like how extremely cartoony his face is, and just how different the shape is. I'm trying to have like a very trying to push my own personal style. Man, good to see you, Prashant. Thanks for coming and hanging out. But yeah, those ArtStation challenges and different challenges on Instagram, and like draw this in your style challenges. It's a great way to be able to to push yourself and to learn and to grow. And to be able to direct yourself and do something that you're passionate about, something you're interested in. It's just fun. It's just a lot of fun. Let's go ahead and pull this out. Pull this out. So a lot of topology edge flow stuff is stuff that's going to come with a little bit of experience and just practice and doing it. The spacing, some of the spacing is very intentional and controlled to be able to get edges and ridges, like here along the outside of the mouth. Trying to get like a sharper edge along there, but then it gets like less sharp over here to be able to kind of fan out and give it a less apparent edge. If we look at this, you can see how like that edge is so much sharper, and then it gets much softer over here. Really sharp transition here around the eyelid. Oh, and you can see there's a point where that got welded together. So I got to go through and fix that. I'm going to delete that. I'm going to say split on the edge. Oh, not that one. This one, please. And you see it looks like nothing happened, but I did go through and put in a point. Put in a point right there. Okay. And then I can just grab that point, move it up. Oh, stop it. Make sure it moves up to the right point. And now I can go ahead and I can say bridge, just to make sure that I get the right things there. But there are some places, like you can see, like right here, there's a huge spacing right here that I can go through and I can fill that in really easily right now, but I don't want to yet. I'm trying to just block in my topology and working on edge flow. So in places like here where I've got, I need to add in more resolution here, more resolution, a lot more resolution through the eyelids. But I'm not super worried about doing that quite yet, mostly because I just need to make sure that I establish my edge flow, and then I figure out all the fun stuff, right? So here's one of the things that I'm going to do. I'm going to take Extrude, maybe about to right there. pull this up. Pull that up. So this way, I can start to get kind of a flow out this way. Let's go ahead and kind of even this out a little bit more. Let's go back down here, say mirror and weld. Pull that over a little bit. Okay, let me see. And we can pull this out. I'll tap on Alt just to get it so that it can bring out that whole loop. Pull that out. Pull that out. And some of these points, I'm trying to decide a little bit better. I do kind of want to keep that where it's at, but let's even it out. Let's cozy it out some. So you can see we're starting to get that form in there. We're starting to get all those shapes. Okay. I'll have to go through and kind of cozy this out too at some point. I'm not going to worry about that too much right now though. What I do want to worry about is some of this right here. And I'm going to have, here, let's go ahead and delete that. I'm going to have a 5 point right there somewhere. That might be the best area for it, might not be, I don't know, I'll have to see. But I essentially want to make sure that I have the resolution that I need going down in both directions to be able to support the back of the neck, to be able to support the muscles on the the front of the neck here. Oops, that got a little bit messy there. Let's clean that up. Oops. All right. Oh, come on, Alt. There we go. Go ahead and take this and kind of merge it over, mirror and weld. One of the things that I need to determine is, and maybe it's something I wait to do later, but this is something that's kind of an interesting thing to figure out. Maybe I'll just figure it out here for now. Gonna bring this out. Bring this back. The thing that I want to try to kind of figure out is this sort of gap here, this ridge. I want to make sure that that holds close enough to the center so that when I have the scales in here, that, or like the spines, like the back spines, that it holds kind of a nice enough ridge. And it might be a matter of just going through and adding in creasing to this edge loop so that it holds that shape a little bit. In fact, I think it probably will. I think it's probably a good idea. And it'd be creasing with like a really, really low tolerance. It's not something that's going to be like, super crisp. It's going to be something that's just there for holding the shape. And it'll give you like a stylized edge. But that'll be something that we talk about more as we get to it. We're definitely super far from adding that in there. I'm going to go ahead and kind of bring this in. Yeah, we'll just kind of keep it simple for right now. Bring it around. Not sure what it's trying to snap to, but it's being kind of snappy. Oops. I want to be careful that I don't inadvertently create these extra edges that don't need to exist. Okay, bring that into the center, mirror and weld. Okay, and then right here what we can do, in fact, let's do it with this edge. Bring this out and over, so that way it's got a little bit more of like a, just a little bit more of a resolution in there. Yeah, it does auto weld, so that's something I don't have to push an extra button or anything like that. It's really, really nice, but it's also tricky because it will weld when you don't want it to. So it's a matter of keeping really, really close control over it. Let's go ahead and kind of pull those together, pull this up, pull this up. Yeah. Oh no. Deformation, mirror and weld. It still has like little bugs to it. It's okay. I think that fixed it. Yeah, that looks like it fixed it. Okay. I still want to get a loop kind of on the inside, which will probably need to be like half of this or less. Yeah, you too, Leonard. Take care, man. Yeah, it's been excessively hot here. I mean, not to minimize anybody's suffering if you're in somewhere that's hotter, but it's So what I have right now is not animatable. It would be riggable once it's done, which then it would be animatable. But in order for something to be able to be animated, it has to be rigged first. Well, I guess technically that's technically not true. It has to be, because you can animate technically anything, right? But in order for it to be production ready, that'll be the distinction. In order for it to be production ready, it does have to have specific clean edge flow and things like that. So yeah, right now he's hitting marks, and he's he's doing what it is that that I need out of him. So yeah, it's fun. It's fun. I really enjoy this process. It's long and sometimes very arduous, but it's but it's fun. Okay, so now at some point, like right here behind these peaks, I'm going to want to kind of expand. I'm going to want to expand my topology to have some extra edge loops, some extra resolution, just because the inside of the mouth is so expansive. That's a mess. Mirror, well, there we go. I got rid of it. Sometimes it's a matter of just kind of like jiggling things around until they weld. Let me see. How are you going to transfer texture to the new model? I don't have a texture yet. So far it's just, sorry, Control T, Shift F. So far it's just white. I mean, there's not anything exciting about it yet. So literally kind of what I'm intending to do is finish my topology and then start doing things like my my high resolution sculpting. I'll do color, I'll do all that sort of stuff. Oh yeah, Tony, reach out to me through did you get it through did you get the course through ArtStation or did you get it through Flip Normals? If you got it through ArtStation, you can kind of shoot me a message and I'll send you a link. You know, maybe what I'll do is I'll go ahead and I'll add a document with kind of some of that information to it. That way you can get the information on Flip Normals too. I think that'll be good. Oh, my arms feel so much better. I've been doing I've been doing some physical training lately to try to to try to recover from a car accident that I had a few years ago. Really big pain. Anyway, it's been helping, but then this past week, my trainer gave me this workout that just absolutely killed me. It was too much. It's like my arms have been, my biceps specifically have been very sore since my session the other day, and it's insane. It's just insane. One of the things that I may go through and do is build the tongue in. How am I checking the high res and the low res simultaneously? So I don't really have like a high res. I have my block in, which is this. Sorry, let's turn that off. Yeah, it's this. It's whatever's kind of like rough on the outside. It's just like pieces that have been mushed together. Yeah, so this is just my block in. My high res hasn't technically been made yet. My high res is something that I will make out of my low resolution model. Yeah, it's I've got a ways to go before I can really get that sort of stuff going on, but it's working out. Okay, so I want to remember I got 1, 2, 3, 4, just to be able to kind of keep it the same top and bottom. And I did technically give it an extra loop going around, so let's kind of pull this down. Give it a loop. Give it a loop. There we go. Break me off a loop of that doopy doop doop. Alright, is extrude. Kind of put that in, connect it down to the bottom, and now we've got like a similar setup on the top as we have on the bottom. Okay, so we'll bring out that guy right there. Oops, 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 oops. Bring it out, bring it out. And this is giving me a good arch in the top of the mouth. One of the things I try to watch out for is that I get my edges going through the way that I need to. If it bends back, it's going to change my edge flow, and it's going to, granted it's the inside of the mouth, so it's not a huge deal. But I still want to try to be careful with it. Do I have an odd? No, I don't have an odd edge going in. Okay, we're all right, I think. I'm gonna go ahead and create this this back edge here. Just gonna grab it and pull it back, and it can get thinner too. It can get. I don't want to make it too thin because I don't want it to weld together. Something like that might work. Extrude so we can connect there. Extrude. Oops, that came back a little bit too much. So yeah, that'll be going kind of straight into the mouth. Okay, so far I'm trying to keep track of what edges I have and what edges I need. So far I've got this one to match up with that one. I've got these two to match up. I need one to go through here, which I'm not, I don't want to worry about quite yet because I'm still blocking in the topology for that area. And so by leaving this, you know, if I were to add in an extra edge loop in there, it would make it so I have to control 2 edges instead of just 1. So, you know, just trying to go through and simplify things and keep it nice and simple, easy, keep it easy. Let's kind of connect that. Okay. Shoot. I keep accidentally somehow like grabbing an edge instead of grabbing a point, even though I'm sure that I'm hovering over the point when I select it. Like, doggone it. Good gravy. That got messy. That's better. Okay, the bottom's good, the top's good. I'm going to, let me see, so that's, okay, that's that edge loop going around. I'm going to make sure that I have this marked. Just makes it a little bit easier to, oh, that's a little bit too much. Why did that go down? Oh, don't do that. Good grief. Okay, now we can, in fact, let's make it so that it's something like super different. Red will work. So now we can see, let's go ahead and join these polygroups together. But yeah, I just want to be able to see the edge flow and where my edges are flowing to. This is working really well. So yeah, let's go ahead, let's take this, we'll say extrude. And I'm going to try to extrude just from this red polygroup for right now. So that way I can have a good it's going to keep that poly group. Whatever you extrude from, it's going to keep that poly group. So I'm just going to pull that around, boom, boom, boom. And there we go. Okay, I think this is probably about all that I have time for today. Got a lot done though. I'll turn on symmetry, turn on mirror and weld. And you can see like this is not quite lining up the way that I need it to. So we're just gonna bring this up. Mirror and weld just to make sure. And it's looking really good. Like I said, there will be a lot left to do. I probably need to squeeze in another 1 or 2 edges through here just to make sure that I have enough. In fact, let's say bridge these two together. We'll insert another edge loop in here, and then we'll bridge these two together. So that way we can get these sort of things kind of going on here. A little bit nicer. It gives me a little bit more flexibility, kind of moving down the neck, so that I have enough resolution. Let's move this up. Kind of pull this over some. Something kind of like that for now. Oh, this point needs to move over too. Oh, not bridge, extrude. I haven't saved the whole time I've been working. Better remedy that. That was weird. That was really weird. Why is it doing that? Let's go ahead and kind of move these over. Mirror and weld. And that should fix it. There we go. Cool. I guess just to be able to wrap up, let's just kind of bridge this out. Looks like that worked out nicely. Let's kind of bring this out to where I want it. just going to kind of smooth some. So that'll help to even out my topology some more. Autosave is always jumping in like right at the time where I'm trying to do something, and then it messes everything up. I stay as far away from Blender as possible. It's not industry standard and it's not useful to me, and I feel like it's extremely confusing. So I have stayed away from Blender. It was one of the first packages that I jumped into, and I gravitated toward Maya because it made more sense. Um, and I've used Blender professionally once for the sake of being able to render, and that's it. Cycles and Eevee are brilliant. They're really, really good. But as a package, like, you can do a ton of really cool stuff with Blender. It's just, it's not for me. It is not for me. Um, Everything from like navigation to UI, it's all super, super unappealing to me. Yeah, I get questions about Blender like every week, every time I stream, and it's like I don't care about Blender. It's not my thing. It's not my software. Um, I don't like it, and yeah, I'll get backlash from that, I'm sure. But that's just kind of how it goes. That's just kind of how it goes. Um, just like in the Blender community, somebody jumps in and is like, "Oh, have you tried sculpting inside of ZBrush?" And it's like, no. If somebody's using Blender, they're going to stick with Blender more than likely, right? They're not going to care. It's not a big thing. But yeah, it's a great tool for being free and open source and those sorts of things, because then it makes 3D available, and yeah, it makes it available to anybody who wants to jump in and get their feet wet. Anybody who wants to learn techniques and learn principles and learn things like that. But yeah. I don't know if even the majority likes Blender. It's just that it's widely available and free. But yeah, I get it. Why does your mesh have two kinds of green? Is it a special shader you use? It's just that it's penetrating the block in some parts, and it's not in others. Um, so yeah, that's kind of what's going on there. Yeah, cool. Yeah, this is as done as I'm going to make it for today. Shoot. Mirror and weld. But we got a lot done. Look at that. Look at that. We've got some nice edge flow to be able to support these different bits of the forms here. We can go through now, like after I finish the inside of the mouth at some other point. Um, at some other point, I'll be able to go ahead and start adding in the rest of the resolution around. In fact, I could probably add in some of the resolution here. We've got this right here. That one goes across, so we're good. So we can add this right here. That one's not filled in yet, so let's. I'll hold off on that. This one has some resolution gaps though, so we could just fill that in. How are we in bridging across? Yeah, that's fine. I'll leave that like that. Just kind of fix some forms through here. Oh, forgot to turn the symmetry back on. I'm just going to kind of pull this out, change that silhouette a little bit more. This is one of my favorite things about ZBrush, is being able to kind of, create the topology and then to be able to refine it, like refine the forms and everything very quickly, very easily. Yeah, and as we continue to go along, that'll get some more love and attention. Eventually, what's going to happen is that I'm going to have these, just to show you kind of what's going on here. We'll take this, and this will come down here like this. And then this will start to resolve down here, so we'll get this, and then we'll have, let's have it kind of taper in a little bit. That'll meet there in the middle, sort of like that. And then we'll get this sort of thing going out, so that it creates a little bit more of like a square pattern going out again. And this will help to resolve some of this topology coming through here. We'll have some of this come down and say, let's say bridge, so that way we can see this really clearly. We have 2 extra edges here that we're going to want to resolve into this. Which means we're going to want to have insert 1, 2, something like that. I'm going to keep it kind of oddly gapped for right now, just to be able to show what it is that we're doing. Okay, so you can see like that's getting this flow going down, up and over. And that'll help so that we can define that little those neck muscles really nicely. Okay, so now I can just come in here, mirror and weld just to make sure. Okay, just gotta kind of play with this. Come on. Come on. There we go. You have a smoother transition in other 3D softwares like Maya when you started in Blender. The price is really the only major roadblock. Yeah, that's the major roadblock for most people. The big thing that you want to focus on with any 3D package that you get into is principles. A lot of the techniques are somewhat similar. There will be different, like, bridge or extrude or extend, or, however, whatever terminology they use. In the different packages, there will be a lot of those sorts of what's it called? Terminology. But it's so focusing on the principles is where you're going to want to spend the most of your energies. Because Blender is great for the price. You can't deny that, right? But the thing that's hard is that it isn't industry standard. Oops. And so that's kind of where, yeah, I mean, you know, knowing the principles by using what you can get to, like Blender, it's a great option for you to be able to then segue into something else that, you know, you would use for whatever job you get, or whatever, you know, studio you work for, whatever client you have. That's kind of the idea of it. Oh gosh, I'm trying to decide now if I want to. Yeah, I'm gonna build out the rest of this neck right here and then add in some resolution to that area. They only offer ZBrush student version in select schools, universities. I think with with ZBrush, it's part of Maxon 1 now. So like if you get the Maxon 1 with the student pricing, I think all you need is some sort of, you know, proof of student status. You should be able to get that, and it's like $20 a year, something like that. It's really affordable, especially compared to things like Adobe. Yeah, Adobe's been one of those that I love. Adobe, I love their software. I use it. I do pay for it, and I pay for it dearly. But it's such an expense. It is so expensive. It's one of those things that I wish that they were a little bit more affordable, but you do what you can. The topology is going to need a little bit of evening out, but this is great. This is great. And then this area right here is going to need some topology love. So maybe what I'll do is I'll add in an edge loop like right here, somewhere where I feel like it's kind of a good endpoint, or a good transition point, not an end point per se. Let's get that in there. Oh, that got messed up. I'll fix it later. I won't worry about it now. In fact, all of this is going to have to get cleaned up at some point, but I'm just going to worry about having it rather than cleaning it up for right now. Stop that. Extrude, pull that out, so that way we have this nice bit here. I'm going to start to kind of taper it up so that it's so that it's fitting what it is that we're fitting the posture of the back. Let's go ahead and hide that. Bring this back. Kind of, I'll lower this down just a smidge, you know. smooth this out some so that it's got a nicer flow. Some of this is going to be a little bit trickier to smooth out because I want to try to keep forms too, but you know, it's you gotta kind of pick your battles, and it's easier to smooth it out and then refine your forms than it is to just, you know, try to smooth your forms. I don't know. It's kind of hard to articulate what it is I'm trying to get at with that. But yeah, there we go. That's where we're gonna leave it. That's a lot. We have gotten a lot done. And there's so much left to do. But we'll pick it up again next week. And that's why we're here. Yeah, Mr. J, I hope you have the very best, you know, the very best opportunities, you know. Good luck getting what you need, and yeah, I mean, Blender is a great place to start. So don't be too worried about it. You will get, as long as you get the right principles down of, like, you know, proper edge flow. You know, if you're doing texture work using Blender or whatever other tools you're using, do it. Be as applied with it as possible. You can get there. It takes time, it takes work, but you can get there. Okay, done. Done. Let's go ahead and snapshot that, and then snapshot from the back too, just so that way we have images. Something pretty to look at. So yeah, lots going on, and long way to go, but it's working. It's working. Yeah, I love quad draw. Quad draw is nice. Alrighty, guys, that's where we're gonna leave it. So if you want to come hang out again, I'll be here again next Saturday, and I may or may not stream on my personal channel at all, but if I do, you know, keep an eye out on that. And then remember that also we have the challenge that'll be starting up soon. I haven't revealed a theme yet, so, you know, beware of that. But yeah, one of the prizes will be these, you know, the 3D Connection Space Mouse. And then the other one is I've got this Cat Mouse Pro, which is awesome. I use this one religiously. It's really good. And this one's really cool. It's really nice inside of Maya, other CAD softwares. ZBrush, I haven't gotten used to using this yet, but it's really, really cool. So yeah, keep an eye out on the Instagram, and when that challenge goes live, that'll run through, and the winner will be announced for Lightbox. So that's really exciting. I don't know what else to say. I don't know what else to share. I'm really just feeling good, feeling peaceful, feeling happy, and we're gonna call it for today. Hope you guys had a good time. Hope you hope I didn't make you feel bad for saying things about Blender. Keep going, keep working hard, keep living your dreams, and I'll see you guys next time I see you. Smartest out.